On a slow Tuesday afternoon, right here in Las Vegas, you get all sorts of things walking into a pawn shop. Some are treasures, most are not. A young guy came in, looking a little nervous. He pulled a small, heavy coin out of his pocket. He said he found it in a box of his grandfather's old stuff. At first glance, it looked like a commemorative coin, maybe for the 250th anniversary of America, the semi-quincentennial. The US Mint just released their official 2026 collection. And this coin had a similar feel. But something was different. The design was off. It was a version of Lady Liberty I had never seen before. She looked almost ethereal, like a ghost. I've been in this business a long time. You develop a gut feeling for things. My gut was screaming at me. The coin had a strange luster and the details were incredibly sharp, sharper than most modern issues. It was dated 2026, yet it felt older, like it carried a secret. The kid just wanted a few $100 for it. He thought it was a cool-looking but ultimately common piece. I told him I needed to look into it. You never know what's going to come through that door. But this felt like one of those once-in-a-lifetime moments. I had a feeling this wasn't just any coin. It was something special, something that could change everything. The coin itself was a work of art. On one side, this ghostly Liberty figure seemed to float against the background. The word Liberty was there, but the font was unusual, almost historical in its style. On the other side, instead of a traditional eagle, there was an intricate design combining the original 13 stars with 50 stars, all weaving around the Liberty Bell. It was unlike any official US Mint design I had ever held. It was clearly related to the 250th anniversary, but it was a phantom. It wasn't in any catalog, it wasn't in any press release, it simply shouldn't exist. My mind started racing. Could it be a pattern coin, a prototype that was rejected? Or maybe an error, a mule coin struck with two mismatched dies by mistake? Those can be worth a fortune. Think about the famous 1943 copper penny, a simple minting mistake that created a multi-million-dollar rarity. This coin had that same energy. It was a puzzle wrapped in an enigma, made of precious metal. I knew I couldn't just throw a price on it. I had to call in the experts. And in 2026, the best expert isn't always a person. It's a machine. To figure out what we had, I couldn't just rely on the old ways. We needed cutting-edge tech. I contacted a top numismatic authentication firm that uses a specialized AI system. This isn't just a simple scanner. This AI performs a deep analysis. It uses high-resolution imaging, laser spectrometry, to determine the exact metal composition, and terahertz scanning to map the coin's internal structure and density. It compares all this data against a massive database of every known US Mint coin, every pattern, and every documented error in history. It's like a DNA test, a background check, and an appraisal all rolled into one, and it's almost impossible to fool. We all held our breath as the machine did its work. The AI scanned every micrometer of the coin's surface. It analyzed the metallic signature, confirming it was struck from a unique planche, a blend of gold and platinum the Mint had experimented with, but never officially used for circulation. The AI cross-referenced the die markers, the tiny imperfections in the striking die, against its vast library. It found no match. This wasn't a known design. It wasn't a counterfeit. The AI concluded with 99.99% certainty that this was a genuine US Mint product, likely an experimental piece struck in a highly secure area of the Philadelphia Mint. Then came the valuation. The AI doesn't just look at the metal content. It analyzes historical significance, rarity, design uniqueness, and current market trends. It factored in the context of the semi-quincentennial celebration, which had already whipped up public interest in coins. It compared the discovery to legendary rarities like the 1933 St. Gaudens double eagle and the 1804 draped bust dollar. The room was dead silent when the final report came up on the screen. The AI calculated the coin's estimated market value. My jaw hit the floor. $25 million. $25 million for one coin. That number just hung in the air. The kid who brought it in nearly fainted. A $25 million coin had been sitting in his grandpa's old tackle box. The AI explained its reasoning. As a unique, previously unknown prototype for the nation's 250th anniversary, struck in a special metal. It was a one-of-a-kind piece of American history. It was more than a coin, it was a lost national treasure. The Phantom Liberty coin, as the media later called it, was officially the most valuable coin ever discovered, and we had the digital proof to back it up. With its value confirmed, the big question became, where did this coin come from? A $25 million ghost doesn't just appear out of nowhere. The story that unfolded was as incredible as the coin itself. The kid's grandfather had been a high-ranking security official at the Philadelphia Mint for over 40 years, retiring in the late 2010s. He was part of a small secret team tasked with developing potential designs for the 2026 semi-quincentennial celebration, years in advance. They were encouraged to be bold, to think outside the box. This Phantom Liberty was one of those experimental designs. The design was considered too radical, too ghostly, and ultimately it was rejected. According to fragmented records, the AI helped piece together from old Mint archives, all prototypes were ordered to be destroyed. But it seems this one lone example was saved by the grandfather. He probably saw it not as a mistake, but as a masterpiece of numismatic art. He smuggled it out, a secret he kept for the rest of his life. It wasn't stolen for profit, it was preserved for its beauty. He saw the history in it that his bosses had missed. It was the ultimate souvenir from a long career protecting the nation's money. This single coin completely changed our understanding of the U.S. Mint's modern operations. We always thought that in the digital age, every single piece was tracked and accounted for. There were no more secrets. This discovery proved that wrong. It showed that even today, behind closed doors, the Mint is a place of artistry and experimentation, with stories that can still get lost. It reminded everyone that the history of American coinage, which began with the Coinage Act of 1792, is a living story. It didn't just end with the gold rush or the famous Morgan silver dollars. History is still being made, and sometimes hidden within the Mint's walls. The Phantom Liberty coin became a direct link between the past and the present. It connected the first silver dollars struck in a small Philadelphia building to the high-tech presses of the 21st century. It echoed the stories of other phantom coins, like the legendary 1854 Quarter Eagle, a coin that was known only from mint records for decades before a specimen was found. This coin was a modern version of that legend. It proved that even with all our technology, the world of coin collecting can still deliver a shock that rewrites the books and makes you question what you thought you knew. The news of the $25 million Phantom Liberty coin exploded. It was on every news channel, every website, every social media feed. Suddenly, everyone in America was talking about coins. People were digging through their change jars, checking their pockets, and pulling out old family collections, all hoping to find their own hidden treasure. The discovery did more to promote the hobby of numismatics than any marketing campaign ever could. It made history tangible. It made people realize that a simple piece of metal could tell an incredible story and be worth a life-changing amount of money. This discovery didn't just create excitement, it literally rewrote a chapter of U.S. Mint history. Official publications and museum exhibits had to be updated. The story of the 2026 semi-quincentennial coinage now had a new, secret prologue. It forced historians to acknowledge the hidden, creative processes happening at the Mint. The Phantom Liberty became a symbol of American ingenuity and the secrets that history can still hold. It proved that there are still monumental discoveries waiting to be made, not in ancient tombs or sunken ships, but in dusty old boxes in regular American homes. The coin's impact was profound. It connected generations. Grandparents were sharing stories with their grandkids about the coins they used as kids. Parents were buying their children coin-collecting starter kits. The U.S. Mint saw a massive surge in sales for its official 2026 commemorative sets, as people wanted to own a piece of this historic moment. The Phantom Liberty coin became more than just an object, it was a catalyst. It got an entire nation to look down at the change in their hands and wonder about the journey it took and the stories it could tell. In the end, that's what this business is all about. It's not just about the money. It's about the story. The Phantom Liberty coin is the ultimate story. It's a story of a secret kept, a treasure lost and found, and a history rewritten. It's a reminder that incredible value can be hiding in plain sight, and you never know what's going to walk through that door. That one coin, found by chance and verified by technology, captured the imagination of the entire country and reminded us all that history is not just in books, it's in our pockets.